What's up, YouTube? Deadjar here, bringing out a video today. Today I want to go over my deck profile. But first I just want to say if I have if I sound a little bit weird or if my video is not to the best quality, the focus is kind of weird. I think I need to get some new lighting and some new stuff for my new recording setup. If you've seen my Twitter, you've seen it on Twitter how I have the new recording setup, which is really nice, but a lot more sturdy, a lot more better for me. But unfortunately, I just haven't had too much time to test it. I want to get this video out for tomorrow. So here we are. I got 9th place at regionals, if you guys didn't know. Very unfortunate, very unfortunate. I was X1 going to the last round, and I ended up losing in time by 100 life points. I had draw phase came. My draw phase came, and time was called. Unfortunately, time was called in the draw phase, and what that means is I could have just went into battle phase. I had a Hayate, 2 Hayates on board actually. If I was just able to go to battle phase and attack, I actually would have depleted his life points to 0 and I would have won. But it's just unfortunate circumstance. Stuff happens. The time rules suck. I'm not really going to complain too much about it. I complain about the time rules all the time. I think time rules are awful, and that's just the way it goes. So I was, I didn't get another time. I didn't top a strikers, but it's okay. I feel like this time I did a lot better than every other time. And I feel a lot more confident about this one, and I feel really good about the deck. But we'll get into it. So we'll just start off with hand traps, I guess. For hand traps, 3 Ash, standard, 2 Ogre. I felt like this was a good meta call with going into the format. Versus Altergeist, I feel like this card's pretty good. I feel like this card's pretty good against Pendulum. Very good against the Guard Dragon decks that, they bring out LP, you ogre the LP, and a lot of times they can't really do too much after that. So I felt like this was just a good choice of the format. They can't special off LP, it has to special summon to the zone, so just super good. And I felt like it'd be really good for the format. Overall, I didn't see it that much, only playing 2. I didn't want to see it too much anyway. But the times I did see it, it was pretty good. And then I played 3 Impermanence. Standard, I feel like this is really, really important for Sky Strikers. There's certain floodgates that you lose out to that you just want to be able to turn off, like Imperial Order and stuff like that. I just feel like having the option to be used as a hand trap and then also turn off floodgates or back rows is super big in the deck. There's a lot of times where I would draw this going second and I would just set it in a column, and then on their turn they couldn't use the spell trap they wanted to because of the column. It was negated when I flipped it and negated their monster. So it came in clutch quite a bit. Very good card overall. All right, so the deck list is pretty standard. Sorry if there's any shaking there. But the deck list is pretty standard here. We got 3 Ray. Obviously this card's just the hardness of the deck. 3 Engage. Obvious is obvious. I don't really need to explain anything about it. 3 Anchor, obvious is obvious again. Now, 2 Area 0, a lot of decks, or some decks are playing 3. I feel like the correct number is probably 2. I get it that you want to see into your engine, but I felt like every time I was playing 3, I just saw this card way too much, and obviously I didn't really have any problems. I only bricked once throughout the whole tournament. Every other thing was just I don't know, every other thing was good. I only bricked once, and it was good. So 2 of these is honestly good enough. 1 multi-roll, because we have to play 1. I would definitely play 3, but honestly, 1 multi-roll is not that big of a deal to me. I felt like every time they were getting rid of this, most people weren't siding Cosmic Cyclone. I think if you side Cosmic Cyclone against Striker, it's probably one of the best side cards you can side against them. Because now the way the deck plays with 1 multi-roll and 1 Kagari, usually we won't use our Hercules base until you hit both Kagari and multi-roll in Graveyard, and then we'll just Herc base both of them back, and then you're like, oh fuck, right? So besides that, it's just whatever. So it's just really recyclable anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. 1 Hornet Drones, Jamming Waves, Shark Cannon. Some decks are starting to play 2. I played a Striker player in the mirror that played 2, but honestly, it didn't really help him out that much. I was able to clutch the win there. 1 Eagle Booster, Self-Explanatory, 1 Afterburners. Just all the one-ofs. It's a toolbox deck. I really didn't feel like anything. I think I might play another Afterburners in the side or something, or I might make a cheeky little Striker build. with Dark Ruler and main a bunch of these. Like if you play 3 Dark Ruler and 3 like 2 of these, this card helps a lot versus like the decks that after Dark Ruler. Because people don't know, I was going to main Dark Ruler for this event, but then I remembered that it negates all their effects. So even if you Dark Ruler, you can't Widow Anchor and Steal because their effects are already negated, and you need to be able to negate them. So that kind of really sucks about what Dark Ruler. It's not quite as powerful as I wanted it to be. So I wish I probably like actually had more access to more afterburners this tournament. But yeah, probably just in the side I would have. And then the 1 Heart base, because like you need to play 1 at least. You need to be able to side it. I started to play the common just so maybe like I had a slight chance of drawing it less. I don't know, why not. Then we play 2 Duality. This card, I mean Desires, sorry, not Duality. Desires is a card I really didn't want to play because like I just have such a bad history of banishing things, but I feel like when you're going first and like you want to go first in this deck, getting that extra card is so insane, like so good. And like usually if you have your access to engage and stuff like that, you search what you really need to first, and then you go. Like usually this is the last thing you want to play. Like yeah, it could be a spell engrave, but most of the time if you like you don't want to take that risk of banishing, you just play this last, and so that you just get that +1, helps you get into like judgment and like any cards that you just like extra really. So you want to play your hand like you don't have it until like it's the last thing you need. Or if you have a really dirty hand and like you can engage it multiple times, you engage once, you get your Ray, and then you put Pawn and Desires to help you get that third spell in graveyard after. But you definitely like don't get greedy about this card. Played 2 Call by the Grave. I didn't feel comfortable not playing any of these. Like some decks aren't playing any, but I felt like just playing at least 2 was like really good. But like I didn't really miss the 3rd. I feel like safe win this card, but this card's just really good. It's a spell in the grave as well. So 2 NSCs, these replace multi-roll. A lot of people are saying, why are you maining like back row hate in the format? Well, it's literally to replace multi-roll to hit your 0, so you can special summon Ray from the deck. Yeah, and this card comes up clutch against like Salad, Orcus, and stuff like that. Not as good against Orcus because it can protect with Dingrisu, but it's still really good against them. Like it's just a bait anyway. Like and this card comes in clutch. If you already have access to Ray, then it's just an MST. Pretty good in the format. Fool's Package. This wasn't really going anywhere. This card, like this is OP a lot of the time. 1 Upstart. We play 41, but we play Upstart because it's a spell in the grave. Honestly, like you see this, you're happy as a striker player even at 41. Just because it's a free spell in grave. Yeah, they get 1,000 life points, but fuck it, I don't care. That's like really what it comes down to. If I'm like gonna out advantage you because of like I have the 3rd spell in grave, it's a 1,000 life points is worth a 3rd spell in grave when I'm drawing off engage 3 times in 1 turn. Terraforming because like it's spell in grave, like I said. Rhoda because like Rhoda's gets you to Ray, it's another Ray, and then 3 Solemn Judgment. I feel like this card is insane. One thing you're gonna notice, like I didn't like a lot of people are maining there could be only 1. I just felt like this card's way stronger. It protects you from like the twins and stuff like that, which everyone's either siding or maining. A lot more siding. But like there's a lot of people still maining twins, and I just feel like this protects you from twins, which like a well-timed twins or a well-placed twins can just fuck a striker player like really bad, and then you just lose. So I felt like this was just super strong, and then like this the ability to be able to like stop a pendulum summon, stop a normal summon, stop a link summon, all that kind of stuff, or like stop something that's gonna really shit on you. I just felt like this was worth it, and it was really good throughout the day, honestly. It got sided out a lot. If I had 20, like the way I would do it, I'd look at the clock. If I had 20 minutes left in the game, or like on time, I would side it. I would keep it in. But if I had anything less, like if I had like 18 minutes left and I was just starting to side, I'd side these out because I just didn't want to lose in time. Ironically, but that's what happened. We'll go into the side, the extra deck. 1 Kagari because like why not? 3 Shiz because like why not? 3 Hayate, definitely like a must of. And then 1 Kana. Some decks are like starting to play 2. The one guy mirror matched played in 2. I feel like 1 was just necessary. There was only I guess 1 time in the game that I really like wish I had a second one, but like throughout the day I honestly didn't really feel like I needed a second one. I felt like it was really good at 1, and I just didn't really need it. So So that's all for the strikers. For the extra deck, we have the Phoenix, the Hita, Unicorn, Boral Sword, Topologic Bomber Dragon. I feel like these are all really good. I feel like I actually made I made Unicorn twice this regional, and I haven't made Unicorn in a long time actually. So it came up. I actually made Hita a lot less. Hita's a lot less important. I wouldn't cut it. I think it's a lot less important because we're not playing as many salad players. Like I didn't play any salads. But like I feel like Hita's still important for the mirror match, and I feel like it's just really good against any deck because like every deck runs Ash or Phoenix. So it's always gonna like you're always gonna have that target. Like there's some really good fire monsters in the game right now. So just having either one of those, like Hita's super good. Helps you make bomber, helps you make so many things. Super good. And then Boral Sword, I actually didn't make this tournament, but definitely something I wouldn't cut. I think Boral Sword is really important to keep. Like I feel like one of the like big win conditions of Sky Striker is the fact that you just out advantage your opponent until you can steal their monsters that they're kind of like being able to attack with you, and from graveyard and on their field just to make a Boral Sword OTK. I feel like that's one of the big win conditions of strikers, which a lot of striker players just don't play into. But that's something that I think like people kind of need to be able to do more. Is play into the right deck, right? And then Bomber, like I said, I feel like Bomber is super important for this meta. I think this is important because of Orcus. There's a lot of times where they become vulnerable in their combo, and being able to like, if you set a Hornet Drones and a Shark Cannon with this, it's super good. A lot of Orcus are playing the Striker package as well, so it's just so free when you Shark Cannon special summon the Kagari that they use with their Hornet Drones. You trigger this effect and you trigger Hayate's effect, so you get to add your engage back and you get to blow up their field. It just becomes super good. And then Hornet Drones is the obvious one, you get to blow up their field. So anytime you can set it up, you have both of those, you're pretty much just in a winning spot, because you can be more you can be more reactive multiple times in a turn. So like they're gonna think you only have one. You set it up so you blow up once, and they're going to be playing around that. So you blow it up once, they're going to be, okay, now they're going to play a little bit more loosely, a little bit like their last effort, and then you just blow it up again, and they're like, well, fuck, like I can't play out of two of that. So super good, because I don't, yeah, it's so good. Then we played one Starving Venom and one Chimera. I felt like this was a decent choice, but I honestly probably would have cut this going into knowing if I knew my matchups, obviously because I didn't play Salad. But I think even if I were to play another regional, I'd probably cut this. There's the 2 Cybers for one, but I don't think I'd even play any other target besides Venom. I don't feel like against Solemn Great you really need to destroy them. Like I think that you already have a really good matchup against that deck, so like I feel like Venom, you don't really need to side Super Poly for that deck. And I probably would play Win. I feel like she would come up a little bit more. I feel like she's just really good to have for the same reason as Hita, but I think that being able to like special summon a Hayate from your opponent's graveyard to help you link climb is really good. Yes, I know you can't special summon 2 Hayate in one turn. I get that. Like the judges asked me that twice. I wasn't playing this card. The judges asked me that twice, but for a different reason. But I do think that it's not bad, because like you can end on a Hayate and it's not that really big of a deal. Where a lot of players play, there can be only one, so you end up being stuck on your Hayate. So I feel like there's a lot of times it won't come up that there's one that there's 2 of them in the graveyard essentially. So the fact that like that's a thing, sure. Special summon this, bring back their Hayate and link climb. I think that's really good. But yeah, like there's been so many times where I got stuck on there could be only one, and I only have a Hayate on my board, and I wish I could make this. And like bring out their Hayate, because it helps you link climb without having to have like the same 2 of the same monsters. So like you can use this like an Ash Blossom, make Hayate, or like this and like any other monster, Ray, whatever you want, to help you kind of make a bigger monster for there could be only one and not be stuck on machine. I think it was honestly would have been pretty good. Now to the side deck. Well, of course, we're playing 3 of the like craziest fucking card ever made. This card is just, and Nibiru is like actually just insane. This card's not fair. Like at the end of the day, this card is just not fair. I think that like so many decks are hurt by this, like versus like Solemn Great, something like I honestly didn't even expect it to be that great against. I felt like it was only really going to be like against like super break my board decks, but like Solemn Great, they do more than 5 summons. You let them do their whole board, you let them do everything, and then you just drop this on them, and you like afterburners or like jamming waves and get rid of their back row, and then you just pop their token, like sure. And it's like you might say like, oh, you're gonna get stuck with this on the board. I mean, I play multi-role, I play things. I can link out of this. I can normal summon after, link out of it into like even just if I have to link into a Phoenix, to be able to play my field spells. But like if I'm just winning at this point. Like if I drop this, I'm probably just winning. Like I broke your board, or like versus Salad, it's like whatever. Like I'm probably gonna be able to get rid of this with Area Zero or anything like that. It just comes up so much that you can. So like whatever. Also, you just like make a Ray, and then you can like make Hita. In the Salad match is like you go into Ray, you make your Kagari. Yeah, you might have to waste it, but then you just make Hita. Or if you normal summon your Ash, you just make Hita. You special summon one of their salads that you tributed with this, and then you just keep link climbing. It's free. Like I don't know what to say. And then you make a Bomber Dragon. They can't out it. Like obviously it didn't come up, but like yeah, that would literally be the play. If you can make Ray end this, if you can't Area Zero and get rid of this, then like that's the first choice. But if you can't Area Zero and get rid of it, or like multi roll and get rid of it, you link and try to make a Hita, and then make their stuff and make bring their wolf back and make a Bomber Dragon. Like I don't know, pretty good card in my opinion. And yeah, I know they can just save with Baylings, but play around it, guys. Come on, think about it. 2 Banker Tops. This card's fucking amazing. This was a last minute choice to side in, and I'm so happy that I chose to side in this over like another Twins or anything like that. Pretty much like I felt like this card just insane, and honestly it was. I dropped this, like this card came in clutch against Anti-Spell, Fragrance, Imperial Order, Spell Canceller, all that stuff. This card helped me. I always drew it at like the right time. I don't know if I was just super lucky, but like I sided it in smartly, and like I drew it every time I needed it, and it like literally just won me the game. So I felt like 2 is good though. I don't think I'd ever side in 3. I feel like 2 is just enough. 3 gets a little cloggy. This card is like pretty good. I didn't side it in too much, but like I don't think I would take this out. I think in Strikers it's free since it's the 3rd spell in Grave. You can engage and stuff like that. It gets like it helps that. It helps you get over stuff like Avermax and stuff that you can't usually out, or like have a harder time outing. And it's just a really good card in general. 3 Super Poly because this card's insane. Break boards in 1 card essentially. Super good. And the thing is, you can side this in going first, since it's a quick play, and it really just like disrupt their plays, and they can't really play out of it. This is where it gets kind of weird. We played 1 Twins and 1 MST. In hindsight, I probably cut 1 Twins, and I probably would have put like a 3rd call by the Graven, or like the Afterburners, like I was saying, probably Afterburners. I just feel like there's a little bit too much back row hate. I probably could have just cut 1 more. I don't think I would cut any other back row hate cards, but the 3rd MST, I just feel like 1-for-1s are like like for Sky Striker. If I can get a 1-for-1 off, I feel like it's like one of the best things to do for me, because I'm always going to be able to get 1 more advantage. Besides like a card like Twin Twisters, a lot of times like if you don't hit, like if you don't just your hit wasn't very good with Twins, you're just down a card, and so like now when you go back, like I don't know, like I said, the stuff I'm scared of is like Roar and like Floodgates, and those are all, if I can play around those, I just out advantage you anyway. And then I played 2 Heavy Storm Duster because I feel like this card is just too free against some decks. Like if I just activate it and pop 2 back row for free without the discard like Twins, this card is just so good. It just wins games straight on out, especially you end phase them. End phase hit them with the Duster, whatever, you can't play with it. So like that's the deck. Like I said, the only thing I would change is like this and these. I felt like the deck just operated so well for me, and like I said, I only bricked once throughout the whole day. And like the brick was a playable, but like I wasn't winning that game no matter what. So it is like whatever. Besides that, like that's all I really have to say. I really enjoyed this variant of Sky Strikers. I feel like this is probably like one of the best builds of the deck I've ever had. It just works so good. Like there's just really not that many flaws. I'll tell you guys something about Desires now. The crazy thing is, This card is scary to play because we run like so many, like we play so many one-ofs that can make you, like, if you don't pay attention to what you banish, it really blows. But there was actually a duel where I played Desires. I had to play Desires first because like my hand wasn't very good, and I actually banished all three of my Ray, but my Hornet Drones was left in my deck, and that's all I needed to win. And that's how I won. I just played the game with one monster. I had no way of accessing anything else. I didn't even get a multi-roll to bring back my drones, so I felt like you know, it was, it's risky, but like if it happens, don't count yourself out. Don't just quit and scoop. Don't do that. Like, you might be able to play against them and win, because like this just gave me so much advantage at, like, even though I banished all three Ray, this gave me so much advantage. Give me all the Widow Inkers, the Shark Cannon, like you know, I had so many of those. I was 3 spells engraved to activate all of them. They can't play through the board anyway, so they just, like, you just win anyway. So anyway, guys, that's it. Please comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you hate the deck, go ahead and tell me. I don't care, but I definitely really like this build. There's not a whole lot I would change. You know, you can play 2 kinda if you really wanted to. You can, but like, I definitely recommend most cards in this deck. There's nothing I really would change, like I said. Alright guys, that's it. See ya.